hot or cold? Which is going to be better metabolically speaking? Ugh, I'm guessing this is not something you've stopped to think about. Me neither. Odds are your choice to go hot or cold is dependent on lots and lots of things. For example, when you're having lunch on the go, you're forced to go with the flow. In the wilderness, lunch is going to be cold. At the office, well, the on site microwave will definitely get a whirl when leftovers are on the menu. And at the restaurant round the corner, well, it depends. Aish, oftentimes it's not quite as hot as you would like. Ambient temperature is also a big deciding factor. It's great to slurp ice cream on a hot summer's day, but that same ice cream has no appeal in the middle of winter. Cold weather sparks the desire for something hot. A hot toddy, a cup of soup, or a steaming mug of hot chocolate. Some foods are just better hot or cold. Cheese is a good example. Cheese straight out of the fridge has a lot less flavor than room temperature cheese. And finally, the choices are often personal and driven by culture and tradition. What the choice is not driven by is what your body would prefer. Now, even though I'm a little obsessed with glycemic control, I must be honest, I had never stopped to think what my body might prefer. My body. I know what my tongue likes, but really, the tongue isn't responsible for processing the food, and let's face it, it's often disconnected from the needs, wants, and desires of all the other organs. So, which is best for metabolism? This is a thought that crossed the minds of a group of Chinese researchers. So they enlisted the help of some volunteers to find out. Join us for this episode of Better Body Chemistry TV as we canvass the opinions of your digestive organs. Better Body Chemistry TV is brought to you by Dr. Sandy, a scientist turned gremlin buster, helping you battle sugar gremlins, heifer lumps, and other health horribles through better body chemistry. Remember, small things can make a big difference to your health. So our team started their study by having their volunteers do the standard glucose tolerance test, or OGTT for short, using sugar solutions at different temperatures on 2 consecutive days. On day 1, the sugar solution was a steamy 50 degrees Celsius, and on the other day, it was a frigid 8 degrees C. But since the OGTT is a rather contrived situation, they also had the participants keep with the theme for an extended period of time. On the hot OGT day, they were fed a hot lunch and a hot dinner, while on the cold OGT day, they were fed a cold lunch and a cold room temperature dinner. The meals that were served were identical and culturally appropriate. They used venous blood samples to do the OGTT, but kept tabs on the glucose levels across the day with the help of a continuous glucose monitoring device. So, what does the body prefer? Well, here are the results for the glucose and insulin responses for the hot and cold OGTT. The hot is shown in red and the cold in blue. Cold was a bit easier to handle, although there really isn't much in it from a glycemic perspective. Now, our team measured a little bit more than just the standard variables of an OGTT. They included the 2 incretin hormones in their analysis, GIP and GLP-1. Now, GIP was unaffected by the temperature of the glucose solution, but the hot caused an early and quite obvious bump in GLP-1. Why? Well, who knows? At a glance, it doesn't make sense because the cells tasked with releasing GLP are way down in the gut. So it seems unlikely that they got triggered by the cold directly. The difference may simply reflect the speed of gastric emptying. Researchers from way back when demonstrated that the stomach has a defrost setting. And only when the contents of the stomach are body temperature does it begin the whooshing and whirling that breaks the food particles into small enough bits that they can, well, leave the building. So, what does the all day feasting on hot versus cold food that was tracked with the CGM reveal? Well, it turns out it doesn't make a difference to overall glycemic control. If you're metabolically healthy, your control is still perfect, as reflected by the time in range, despite the mean glucose level being marginally higher in the hot food option. Yes, but I'm metabolically challenged. So does it make a difference for me? Well, our team has got you. They did the same thing in people who had crossed the threshold to being metabolically damaged. That is, they had a diagnosis of being a type 2 diabetic, but at this moment in time, they had not started to take their meds. In terms of the OGTT, as expected, things were a little bit wonky. What it should look like is shown by the black line. Most notably, the insulin response was slow off the mark, and as a consequence, glucose levels rose higher than ideal and remained higher for longer. But the temperature of the meal was not a factor, and having a hot food day versus a cold food day made absolutely no difference to overall glycemic control. The time in range is the same. Don't be fooled by that number. It looks a tiny bit bigger, but the difference is not a real difference. The p-value tells you that the difference that is seen just happened by chance. So the take-home message, if you like it hot, do it hot. If you like it cold, do it cold. This is not a lever that will make any difference to your overall glycemic control. Yay! I'm a hot food kind of girl. And most of the time, given a choice between vegetable and salads, I'd rather have vegetables. Of course, if you are a salad fan, just be warned. Salads are not always as healthful as you think. Watch this video to learn more. Temperature doesn't matter, but the good news is that there are levers that you can pull to minimize sugar spikes. For some suggestions, visit this page on the Better Body Chemistry blog and begin the journey today to better body chemistry and better health using real science, not hype. Talking about science, here is the journal that this advice is based on. Know someone who is battling with high sugar levels? Share this video with them so they can discover which levers are worth pulling at dinner time to improve glycemic control. And if you enjoyed this video, be sure to subscribe to our channel so you catch future episodes of Better Body Chemistry TV. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Remember, small things can make a big difference to your health.